Shrimp Scampi. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy preparing it? Well, now you're going to enjoy it a heck of a lot more, so stay tuned. Shrimp Scampi is a road we're traveling down today, and we're going to do it in an air fryer. As you can tell, I'm kind of on an air fryer kick lately, and I'm just experimenting with all sorts of different things and seeing how they come out. And I figured, hey, let's try shrimp scampi in the air fryer. What I want to say before we get started though is if you enjoy our video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly share. And the little bell down the bottom, go ahead and click on that and you'll get notified each time we release a video. So shrimp scampi in an air fryer, very easy. Even in the oven, it's a very super simple dish to make. And I'm going to kind of make a navy version of shrimp scampi, and we'll see how it comes out. So what goes into our shrimp scampi? I have 1 pound of 1620 shrimp, wild caught pink shrimp. Oh. 1 medium roma tomato that I've diced up. A little salt and pepper to taste. I have 2 cloves of garlic that I minced. And I have probably about 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. I have a stick and a half of butter that we're going to melt. And a little bit of white wine for some drizzling. Oh, and I have some homemade breadcrumbs here. If you saw my Irish soda bread recipe, I had a little bit of soda bread left over. I went ahead and crumbled that up, made some nice crumbs, added some Italian seasoning to it. I'm going to try it out, see how it works. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to melt our butter. What I'm going to do is go ahead and melt it in my air fryer. I've seen where you can do it, so that's what I'm going to try to do. So in it goes. We'll turn this on, air fry. I'm just going to set the timer down for about 2 minutes. We got it set for 400, and then we'll go ahead and hit start. We're going to let that melt, and then we'll return and start putting this together. Okay, so let's check to see if the 2 minutes was enough. And by gum, it was. Perfectly melted. Now, let me grab my hot pad over here, because this pan's going to be a little hot. Don't want to burn my hand. And let me grab one here to rest it on. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to add some of this butter to my breadcrumbs. And I've got maybe half a cup of breadcrumbs in here. And so what I'm going to do is add a bit of butter to this. This will help this brown when I go to put this on top of my scampi. I don't use a lot of breadcrumbs when I make my scampi, just a little bit. Alright, so there's my breadcrumbs buttered. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my garlic and add it to the remaining butter. I'm going to put this back in the air fryer for about a minute and let that butter and the garlic cook together. I have a nice garlic butter on my scampi. So we'll turn this on, air fry. We'll set the time down to 1 minute and get started. Okay, so here we are at the end of our minute of cooking time on our garlic butter. And that's smelling good. Again, I want to go in here with a hot pad and over here, pan over there. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 things right now. I'm going to put a little bit of my garlic butter in the bottom of my pan. I'm also going to go ahead and put some garlic butter on my shrimp. So, first of all, let's get some butter in the pan. My little stainless steel dishes. And this will help prevent the shrimp from sticking. There you go. There you go. I'm only going to cook off one of these dishes for the video, but I have enough for about 2 portions. A pound, that's about 16 shrimp, 8 a piece. There we go. Now, make some of this garlic butter and take some of this garlic butter and toss it in my shrimp and get them nice and coated. And there we go. That should be enough. And the shrimp, a little toss. I'm going to throw a little bit of parsley in this. I'm going to use the remaining parsley at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and assemble my dish here. I'm going to try to get 8 of these beauties in here. I'll try to go 4 on each side. I'm not even cooked yet and they smell good. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is take just a couple tomatoes. Not a lot. And in some scampis, don't even use tomatoes, but in the Navy recipe we did. Give it a little bit of a pinch of salt and pepper, just a pinch. We're going to go in with our breadcrumbs. And I don't put a lot. That's good. Now the last thing, I'm just going to give it a little drizzle of wine. I'm going to do this without spilling a lot. Just a drizzle. There we go. Maybe a little bit more. There you have it. Alrighty, now it's time to put our scampi into the air fryer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to 400 degrees for 5 minutes. You do not want to overcook shrimp. Don't want it rubbery, chewy, any of that stuff. So we'll set it for 400, 5 minutes, and we'll see how it comes out. I also want to point out that I'm not going to let this preheat first. I'm going to go ahead and actually put it in the air fryer while it's heating at 400 for 5 minutes. So at some point it's going to ask me to go ahead and load the food. It's already in there. So here we go. We'll get it in the pan, and this fits nicely right in the middle of my basket. It's in here. Air fry. 5 minutes. 400 degrees. Start. We'll see how this is going to come out. Okay, it's time to pull this out. But before I pull it out and check it, I just want to mention that I used frozen shrimp, so I made sure that I went ahead and defrosted it properly. I also took the shell off. I left the tail on. Kind of like the tail on there. You know, sometimes I like just pick it up with my fingers. I like the way it looks. My wife, she likes the tail off. So, anyways, let's check to see how this looks. And wow, let me pull this out. It's looking good. It is looking good. Wow. This looks fantastic. 5 minutes. Let me just look at some of the shrimp in the bottom here. Make sure they cooked, and looks like they did. This is kicking. I'm kind of bringing it up to the camera here so you can see it. What do you think? It smells really good. It looks really good. You can smell the wine, the garlic, the shrimp. Yeah, breadcrumbs toasted nicely. Before I taste this though, I'm going to go ahead and get my shout out of the way. So this episode shout out is to the USS Nimitz, who just recently returned to home port after 11-month deployment. That's a long time at sea. And trust me, they're at sea. There are no port visits going on right now with the COVID, so hats off to you guys and gals, and job well done, and thanks for keeping us safe. So now it's time to test. Actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to make it look pretty first. So we'll go ahead, add a little bit of this fresh parsley on top. You know, looks are everything. Got to make it look pretty. And I got some nice lemon wedge here. Let me see, I'll just kind of nestle that in there. There you go. Look at that, baby. All right, moment of truth. Let's go in. And wow, that's tender. This is definitely not overcooked. It's definitely not undercooked, but more importantly, not overcooked. Because if it was undercooked, we could cook it a little bit longer. Look at that. Nice and white all the way through, so it's not undercooked. Winner, winner, scampi dinner. This is perfect. And that, because it was cooked in the air fryer, those crumbs have a nice little crunch to them. Fantastic. You saw how easy it is to make this. And once you get it ready for the air fryer, 5 minutes. That's it. I mean, how can you beat that? You can't. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Share all this great stuff out there amongst your friends, even your enemies. Maybe you make friends with your enemies. So hey, until next time, thanks, and we'll see you.